Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 131. I'm John Cooney, here to talk to you about comics released the 23rd of July, 2014, beginning as usual with my first five, meaning these are the first 5 books I intend to read this week, and I'll give you a little more depth on them, starting with at number 1, Saga number 21. Not every robot is lucky enough to be born a royal. Image publisher Eric Stevenson made an interesting comparison recently, quote, "New creativity that is native to comics is what makes this industry stronger. It shows what comics do, what comics can be. Look at The Walking Dead. I know, it's a hit television show, but before that, long before that, it was a hit comic book. The Walking Dead came out of nowhere one October, and it increased in sales month over month, year after year, for a full 5 years before there was a television show. The Walking Dead is one of the most successful franchises in the history of comics. We've sold millions of units of comic books, trade paperbacks, toys, statues, apparel, and hardcovers, and it's completely homegrown. And we're working together to build the next Walking Dead as we speak. If you look at The Walking Dead sales pre-television show, back in the days when sales were just great as opposed to phenomenal, Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples' Saga is just kicking the shit out of those numbers. The trade paperbacks, the comics, Saga is a massive success. And I'll say it once again, it all started with new creativity and your support of new creativity." Close quote. At number 2, we have Batman number 33. It's been one hell of a year in Gotham City, and it all comes down to this: Batman versus the Riddler. Gotham City and the Dark Knight will never be the same. Don't miss this special, extra-sized finale of Zero Year. Series writer Scott Snyder said this about the issue, quote, "You know, this issue, I'll let it speak for itself. I don't want to hype it too much, but I'm pretty positive people will think it's one of the best issues of the book. I'm very proud of it because it's both intensely personal to me. It shows Bruce as a kid, and he confesses to how bad it got for him with his depression and his anxiety over the trauma he suffered with his parents' death, and that cuts very close to the bone for me. And on the other hand, it's our most out-of-control, muscular, colorful sort of action sequence that we've done. So it has these twin elements that, for me, when I wrote it, I realized that I think it's best epitomizes what Greg and I and the team bring to the book. We try to do stories that we care about deeply on a personal level, and Zero Year for me is kind of reinventing Bruce for myself in a way that I think shows what I love so much about the character and why he's so inspiring to so many people and to me personally. But also we love to embrace the craziness of Batman, the action, the color, and the sort of epic, over-the-top possibilities that come with the character. Doing it made me realize this is our sweet spot. I really felt that doing Zero Year. I've always been comfortable on Batman and loved doing it, but rebuilding him made me realize what's intensely ours about this interpretation of the character." Close quote. At number 3, we've got Batman and Robin number 33, Robin Rises. Picking up right where this month's Robin Rises Omega left off, it's Batman versus the Justice League as the Dark Knight decides to follow the Chaos Shard back to its source, Apocalypse. Writer Peter J. Tomasi explains why this is an opportunity for new readers to jump in. Quote, "Because Robin Rises and Batman and Robin are the only 2 books that you'll be able to see Batman go to great lengths to once again have a Robin fighting by his side, and also I wanted this storyline to be an open door for new readers so they could connect to the story and characters right away in not just a linear fashion, but also emotionally. The way I thought was best to achieve this was to have the opening pages of Robin Rises Omega give us a quick recap without getting too bogged down in the minutia and really drive home what's at stake emotionally and physically for Batman as we spent the next 5 months on the insane mission of restoring the dynamic duo with the awesome visuals of Andy Kubert and Patrick Gleason. So new readers and even our regular readers can be up to speed and still plugged into the interpersonal relationship between the characters of our story." Close quote. At number 4, we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 4. The radioactive spider that gave Peter Parker his powers bit someone else too. Who is Silk and where has she been? Don't miss this incredible new character who will be a major Spider player for the whole year. Series writer Dan Slott shared this, quote, "One thing we're exploring with Original Sin is the revelation that many heroes of the Marvel Universe are either keeping a terrible secret or that a terrible secret is being kept from them. This is the case with Peter Parker. There's a secret that's been kept from him, and the secret is that the spider that bit him lived just long enough to bite one other person. There's a second spider person. Who is she? You're going to have to read Amazing Spider-Man number 4 to find out." Close quote. At number 5, we've got Daredevil number 6, the untold story of how Matt Murdock's mother became Sister Maggie. When Matt learns something about the past that's too terrible to accept, he seeks out his mother only to find her in more trouble than he could possibly have imagined. Series writer Mark Waid voiced some concerns over the story. Quote, "It's exciting, but at the same time it's scary. This seemed to me to be very thin ice. I think there's a reason Matt's mother's been used so sparingly, and that's because no one wants to be the writer who screws her up. But I think we have a strong hook that tells us a lot more about her than we've previously suspected." Close quote. He went on to say, quote, "Matt learned something very startling about his mother in the original Sin Limited series that he's compelled to investigate. But there's a reason he can't just ask her directly about it and end the story on page 5. All I can say about her current situation is that Matt will never be more regretful than he's no longer licensed to practice law in New York State." Close quote. Rounding out the top 10 at number 6, we've got Wolverine and the X-Men number 6, Tomorrow Never Learns finale. The Phoenix Corporation versus the X-Men and their very future hangs in the balance. Jason Latour and Mahmoud Asrar conclude chapter 1 of the smash hit of All New Marvel Now. At number 7, we've got Storm number 1, Thief, Goddess, Headmistress, Queen. The X-Man called Storm has always defied a single title, and her desire to better the world has never been limited to only her own kind. On a mission to foster goodwill and safeguard the mutant race's continued existence in her own way, Storm will travel the globe, confronting man and mutant, god and monster, and everything in between. She'll overthrow tyrants, quell tsunamis, and strive to see her dream for the world realized. She is Storm, a hero like no other, and the skies will tremble at the sight of their namesake. At number 8, we've got Detective Comics number 27 Special Edition. In celebration of Batman's 75th anniversary, DC Entertainment is partnering with thousands of comic book retailers and bookstores across the nation to celebrate Batman Day on Wednesday, July 23rd. As part of the festivities, fans who visit participating retailers receive a free special edition of Detective Comics number 27, featuring a reimagining of Batman's 1939 comic book debut, designed by Chip Kidd with a script by New York Times #1 bestselling author Brad Meltzer. At number 9, we've got Dead Boy Detectives number 7. The ashes of St. Hilarions have barely settled before the tabloids start a witch hunt against Pyro Brainiac Crystal Palace in the first chapter of this new story, Ghost Snow. Charles Rowland and Edwin Payne spirit their new friend away from London and accept the invitation from Charles' long-lost sister Clementine to visit her and her science-boffin daughter Miranda deep in weird and wild East Anglia. And at number 10, we have Superman number 33. It's up and away as the Titanic team of Jeff Johns, John Romita Jr., and Klaus Janson continue their epic run on the Man of Steel. In their second issue, we learn more about the mysterious Ulysses and what his emergence will mean to Clark Kent and the world. Meanwhile, a mysterious figure is targeting Metropolis with strange mechanical creations, but why? And what dark secret from Clark's past does it connect to? For the best of the rest from DC Comics, we've got Batman Eternal number 16. Red Robin is out to solve the mystery of the nanovirus spreading among Gotham City's poorest, but Harper Row isn't going to let him do it alone. Can Batwing escape the clutches of the Joker's daughter? Next, we have Catwoman number 33. Race of Thieves speeds to the finish line in this final chapter. Selina is tested as she tries to compete in the race while she works for the GCPD. And we've got Secret Origins number 4. The latest explosive origins from DC Comics, the New 52, include Harley Quinn by Amanda Conner, Jimmy Palmiotti, and Stephen Rue, Green Arrow by Jeff Lemire, Dennis Cohen and Bill Sienkiewicz, and Damian Son of Batman by Peter J. Tomasi and Ian Bertram. From Marvel Comics, we've got All New Ultimates number 5. From the creator of the hit comic Copra, it's a battle royale when the new super teens on the block go up against the most dangerous super gangs on the street. Will the bloodthirsty vigilante Scourge take everyone in costume down, be it street punk or good guy? Will Spider-Man, Black Widow, Kitty Pryde, Bombshell, Cloak, and Dagger survive a second wave of violence when the deadly Crossbones joins the fray? Next, we have Mighty Avengers number 12, Original Sin tie-in, Election Night 1972. Under a moonless sky, unspeakable evil slouches towards Manhattan to be born, and the only people who can hold it back were the original Mighty Avengers. Meanwhile, in the present day, history repeats itself, but this time had the Mighty Avengers already failed? We've also got Original Sin number 5.2, Thor, the 10th Realm. Thanks to the events of Original Sin, the deepest secret of the 9 realms is revealed, a 10th realm. Thor and Loki embark on a quest to discover this strange new world and the sister Thor never knew he had, Angela. But can Loki be trusted, and will brother and sister murder each other before the truth comes out? And we've got Original Sins number 4 of 5, the original sin of Dr. Doom, one of the young Avengers falls, and another surprise story. From Dynamite Entertainment, we've got Solar Man of the Atom number 4. You're Erica Selesky. Yesterday you were an architect. Today you can pretty much do anything. Can the brand new Woman of the Atom figure out her incredible abilities in time to stop a full-on alien invasion? Hint, no. It's a brave new world for Solar from the astounding vision of Frank Barbieri and Joe Bennett. And we've got Twilight Zone number 7. Diana Westby has a decision to make and not a lot of time in which to make it. She knows she can't go to the police about the nuclear holocaust she has seen in the minds of others because there's no evidence and they've hidden their tracks too well. The only way to stop the blast that will kill untold numbers of people is if she personally goes after the terrorists. But if she takes that step, she may not survive the attempt. It comes down to a simple question: run and save her life, or fight for the lives of others. From IDW Publishing, we've got Ragnarok number 1, Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods in Norse mythology, the destruction of the 9 worlds, and now, 300 years later, the birth of vengeance. Walter Simonson returns to comics in a big way with an all-new series and doing what he does best. My wife and my children are dead, my brothers and sisters are dead, my parents are dead, the great enemies still live. But I swear on the shattered bones of my kinsmen, they will not live forever. I shall become the Storm. Walter Simonson is one of the most acclaimed and respected creators in comics. He's done defining runs on Thor, Manhunter, Star Slammers, Elric, Orion, and more. Now in his first creator-owned series in 20 years, he brings his tremendous artistic arsenal to a brand new world, the twilight world of Ragnarok. And we've got Wild Blue Yonder number 5 of 6. It's all been building to this. The judge is hunting down the Dawn, and now it's a desperate fight for survival. Kola and Tug are each faced with heartbreaking decisions. Will they act in time? It's the bloodiest, most grueling battle yet, and the skies will rain with blood. From Valiant Entertainment, we've got Armor Hunters Bloodshot number 1 of 3. The hunters become the hunted. With the major capitals of Earth under siege by the Armor Hunters, the world's most dangerous weapon is decided to come in from the cold and into the service of the top-secret military extraterrestrial reconnaissance outpost, Marrow. But when one of the Armor Hunters' own stages an extraterrestrial jailbreak inside of Marrow's fortified command center, the nanite-enhanced commando known as Bloodshot will become the last thing standing between the galaxy's most feared team of hunter-killers and a classified arsenal of secret weapons far too deadly for human hands. Out in trades, we've got the Star Wars The Lucas Draft hardcover. Before Star Wars, there was The Star Wars. This is the official adaptation of George Lucas's rough draft screenplay for what would become Star Wars, the film that changed motion pictures and the world. You'll see familiar characters and places, but not all is the same in this long ago and faraway galaxy. Still, strap yourself in for the high adventure and laser sword duels, Jedi Knights, Princess Leia, Han Solo, and a battle to defeat the evil Empire. Next, we have Walking Dead Volume 21, All Out War Part 2 trade paperback. Alexandria has been destroyed. Can Rick rally the other communities against Negan's army? Collects The Walking Dead number 121 to 126. And we've got Guardians of the Galaxy by Abnett and Lanning, the complete collection Volume 1 trade paperback. With the fabric of the universe torn, all that stands between us and the evading horrors is a team of cosmic misfits. Led by Star-Lord, the newly minted Guardians of the Galaxy include a who's who of the mightiest and most bizarre protectors the stars have ever seen. Rocket Raccoon, Drax the Destroyer, Groot, Gamora, Adam Warlock, Mantis, the all-new Quasar, Cosmo the telepathic space dog, and more take on the universe's most dangerous menaces and have fun while doing it. But when Major Victory and Starhawk, two members of the Guardians of the Future, make their explosive returns, is there more going on than meets the eye? And as the Skrulls' secret invasion tears the new team apart, who will guard the galaxy from the Church of Universal Truth, the Badoon, and King Blastar? Collecting Guardians of the Galaxy number 1 through 12. Okay, so that's just a few of my favorite books out this week. There's still plenty of others available, and I broke out all the Marvel titles this week in their own video, as well as a separate video for all of DC, and even a video with the top independent publishers. You can find them all on my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com. And we'll also have links up on the leagueofnerds.com, our Facebook page, so be sure to like us there too. And of course, you can follow everything I'm reading on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, or Twitter. You can find links to everything in the About section at he'sgotissues.com. And a reminder that both He's Got Issues and the League of Nerds are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.